So today we're going to be looking at the top 3 players in each position with the new upgrade of footies coming in. I thought this would be an interesting one to see where we go from now at the very start of footies to the very end at the minimum. Now, goalkeepers, always going to be a very big question on them. Obviously, it depends on who you prefer. That is literally goalkeepers in a nutshell, to be honest. If you prefer to have a Courtois in there, if you prefer to have an Edison, by all means, it very rarely makes any difference at this point. It is as pretty standard as possible. Donnarumma just happens to be one of my more favoured keepers. Same as Courtois, but he hasn't really had the upgrade, and you're obviously going for a bit of rating. The next one is going to be Konate, who, it's not necessarily any particular order as such. I just think he deserves a somewhat mention. Now, obviously, a lot of people are going to throw in that realistically, I'm just joking. Of course, I don't think Konate is in here. The one that I do personally like is De Gea. What a cheap beast. Konate, to be fair to him, it's a bit harsh, but he's an okay keeper. He's just not. De Gea, Donnarumma, two of my more favoured, and then we do have the final one that is going to be Alisson. He's a cracking keeper. He always has been. He's one of the better keepers that you can get in the game. They are kind of my easy top 3. Like I say, Konate, coming out of net is fantastic, but realistically, it's down to the goalkeepers at this point. Alisson, De Gea, and Donnarumma would definitely be my picks. Going into the right back zone though, one thing I want to know is what's this? Ooh. It's a bit fancy. I quite like that actually. So, I mean, it's not covering my camera a little bit, but in general with Thuram, solid card. Still absolutely brilliant. Now the big thing is you've obviously got to go with an Evo. I wonder if I could zoom out a little bit more. Will it be able to put everything in one bit there? There we go. That should be fine. So if you do go for the Evo, obviously, that's going to be a fantastic one for him. I think naturally keeping him upgraded is going to be an absolute key for this. There is going to be a lot of right backs coming out very, very soon. And more than likely, he will drop down pretty quickly. Stats are very hard to talk about nowadays because most people have the 90s. Like, it's 90s across the board. It'd be like going in the midfield and saying, oh, he's got 90 above everything. Everyone's got 90 above everything. As the fullback goes, playstyle pluses are important. Obviously, the role pluses now are becoming more and more just everybody has everything, so they're not necessarily important. So really it just comes down to preference, body type, and the playstyle pluses. Next up, we're going to go with Kounde. We will just stick to that. I wonder if can I click this from here? Is that going to work? We'll take that. But Kounde is coming in at 530. Solid card. Great upgrade for him. Obviously 97 rated. The first week of footies of 5 potential, which is just nuts. But a solid card nonetheless, which, to be honest, I think he automatically puts himself into the topper category because we need a big Evo to take some of the kind of like the 93s, 94s, all the way up to the 97. But then he also has the quadruple, which is always nice as well. But Dumfries is going to come under one of my more favoured cards, to be honest. He really had a solid upgrade with his numero foot and then Evo. But even now, we're starting to already see the 96 being able to Evo'd up as well, which is definitely going to be incredible. He just works so well in this game. I don't know what they've done with Dumfries this year. He just works in every aspect of being Dumfries. It just is. It's his animations. He just works with it. Going on the left-hand side, this is where I do think they have got a very interesting upgrade for a lot of these because Ferland Mendy is going to be number 1, or at least number 1 in this list. He's not available right now. We know how good he's going to be. Of course we do. He is an incredible card. He's left back, 98 rated, 4 playstyle pluses with a potential of a 5th by the time this one comes out, and he's just going to be next level. Going next to him, we will obviously go with Theo Hernandez. Now, obviously with Theo, he does need an Evo, so that is just without a given, to be honest. There's plenty of Evos, but in general, his base stats with 1 or 2 Evos is more than enough to put him into the absolute top of the top, in my opinion. I don't think there's any question. But then the one player that is doing it that you can get right now but is expensive is going to be our boy Nuno Mendes. He had a few different versions that I do think this one is the best, but you can argue with, if you wanted more of the cheaper option, you can go with his 95. The 96 is probably a happy medium, but this version specifically with a quadruple, I know he only got the low driven, but it just works so well. So well. So if you're looking for coins, check in the description for El Dorado. Depending on the coin amount that you're looking for, the delivery time is displayed on the website, and you'll see lots of different trusted sellers with reviews on specifics and also the ability to be able to pick who you want. It will also show how much they have in stock, and obviously you can see that they are verified members. There is 100% refund ability and also 24/7 support if you need any questions with your coin needs. Also, if you head over to Trustpilot as well, you can see over 30,000 upvotes for them. You can see how reliable they are. Obviously great feedback across the entire board with Eldorado. So when on checkout, make sure you are using the code JT11 for 5% off your order every time. Discount code JT11. Now let's get back to the video. Which moves us into centre-backs that is just insane again. The 3 centre-backs on this list are nuts. We've obviously got the brand new Van de Ven. Again, we've been waiting for this card from the very beginning. We obviously got the track star. We finally got an upgraded version. It took Spurs winning a trophy to finally get an upgrade. And then we have another one from him as well. 97, 550, worth every penny. Which then throws us into a lovely Maldini at 98 rated. I mean, who doesn't love that sort of level of Maldini as well? He's obviously had an illustrious career of FC 25, and this time he has got the 5 play style pluses and really throws it in there. But what goes better than that? Than a 99 Virgil van Dijk. I mean, again, it's very much like Ferland Mendy. You don't really need to know when you get him, you just know he is available. He's going to be the best centre-back. You could throw most of these into Evos. You could throw the 97 into your team, and they're just incredible. The only thing that I think with Virgil that's going to be is just, who do you put next to him at this point? Van de Ven's kind of like a great candidate from it. A Saliba in an Evo form, but the next 99 has got to be important, and then pretty much the centre-backs are done. With the midfield, I've tried to kind of get a good variation of players in general. Caicedo is going to be one of my more favoured CDMs, especially in the list. In terms of under the million value, I think he's very good. Whether I think he's going to get another upgrade is going to be interesting to say the least, because when we've done the maths on what footies are available, I believe we got 7 normal players in this week's footies. We got like 10 icons, we got a few heroes. Great to the games obviously are focusing on Euros, so that's fine that side. But 7 players of actual players. Now, it doesn't mean that we're going to get 7 every week, but say we only get 7 to 10, 4 more weeks of it. For instance, if we're going for footies teams that are announced, that's not a lot of players. And if you think Rodri will more than likely get one, Odegaard's got a good chance. We think of De Jong, we think of Valverde, the big names in teams in Real Madrid, in Barca, in Liverpool. Caicedo, with already having a 96, could be left towards an Evo. So it will be interesting to see later on in the game, but he definitely will get an Evo at some point. Patrick is another one. I think even as his 94 is still fantastic. Yes, I would recommend this one does need the Evo to keep up, but in general, we know that he's going to get a card at some point. I know that he got a shapeshifter. It would be a shame and a half that they don't give him a 98, 99 sort of icon footies. It would be a shame for someone of this sort of level. It just would be. But we did get Matuidi, a very, very good defensive mid. And obviously he did have the 95 already, coming in at 800. It's just another little step up, which is absolutely brilliant for him. Anticipate, bruiser, pinged pass and tiki-taka. A perfect DM flexing into the CM sort of thing. And then we throw ourselves into kind of more of a centre mid sort of vibe. I know Hullet can play pretty much across the board. Most people are upgrading him now. Obviously 96, he can go to the 97 with a different level of upgrades as well. He's always going to be a fan favourite. And the fact that he didn't get a shapeshifters does kind of tell me that he will get an upgrade very, very soon in footies. At the very minimum, if they don't give a Patrick, they are going to give a Hullet. They always give one or the other, and more than likely they both get one. We obviously did see Shapeshifter Cantona, who more than likely now is probably done at 98 rated. If we do get an Evo that gives him a 99, then obviously you could do. But realistically, he's got the 5 playstyle pluses. He's 98 rated. Stats are fantastic. He's got everything you need. In terms of a centre mid, I actually think he works wonders. He can play centre mid cam. I'd kind of flex in between the midfield because he does have more of the passing and defensive playstyle pluses than he does actually shooting, but he still can shoot. That's the kind of big benefit from him. So he's another one that I would consider in a very good centre mid role. Which then throws us on to the cams, and Messi is going to be one that I really would argue away from the kind of right wing. I love him as a right wing, but I do think the intricate dribbling that he does possess is great in that cam, almost as a shadow sort of striker. He picks the ball up, he can have the finesse, he can have the low driven, he's still got the incisive, and his dribbling down through the centre is exquisite. Like most of them, like the next sort of player is Pele. I mean, it's just easy for them. The dribbling aspect of these cards. You throw a Maradona in there. You throw anybody of that sort of magnitude can dribble through the middle so easy. And Pele's another one that as a 99 comes in, he's just going to be outstanding. He's got the playstyle pluses, the stats, the 5-5. He's a perfect card. He most definitely is one of the cards that you want to get into your team and just keep in there forever. It's quite an easy one, to be honest. Left wing sort side, though, we have got some very top-end attacking talent. Now, this whole list in general, there's loads of options. I'm not saying these are the only 3 that you want to go for the top, but they are some of the best cards in the game, and I don't think there's any arguments of them being at the top level. I do think definitely the 3rd and 2nd spot can always be argued across the board. I think Leao, personal preference of mine as a striker or a left wing, works really well. And he's expensive because all of these cards are expensive. I think the Nations League cards were just so hard to get. It made them all so much cost in general. But then we look at someone like a Cruyff. I know left wing, right wing, I've kind of been cheeky and put him in that left wing. He's still incredible, as always, as he should be. Cruyff is an immaculate sort of player. Now, I do personally prefer him down the middle, cam or striker, but I could still get a left or right wing out of him. Most definitely. An inside forward, Cruyff will definitely do that business. Same as the likes of Eusebio. Now, he can obviously play down the middle with the cam, but I like him more as a striker, to be honest with you. So it's kind of being a little bit awkward with it. Now, he does have a 98 like Cruyff. Whether that is the final card, they've got 5 playstyle pluses. It could be. It really, really could be. And it's always seeing them sort of shapeshifts, and you think, is it worth doing a 99? It could be by the end of the game, but realistically, within the next 4 weeks of footies, is there any point putting Cruyff and Eusebio with 5 playstyle pluses already back into a 99? Possibly not. They more than likely make an Evo for them. So these could be the final ones that we see. Same with Maradona, obviously 98 rated. He's coming in with the 4 playstyle pluses, so you'd still need a 5th. But realistically, is this the final version of him? I'd probably say it could be. A 99 would be really nice, and maybe we do see them coming in later on in the teams, because 5 weeks is still not enough to get us to the end of the game. So there could be even more after that, but it's always to see where we're going with it. Obviously, then we have the Ronaldinhos. Getting a little bit up there, 5 playstyle pluses, 97. Again, whether you think that's enough to finish Ronaldinho off, I would really like a 99. And the big thing with Ronaldinho that most don't have is he has the cover star aspect. So if they do go across that line again, Ronaldinho's always going to be a fan favourite alongside Rooney in that. So it's always very interesting. But right wing was won this week, and it's going to be won by the teenager wonder kid, Yamal. 99 rated. 5 playstyle pluses, stats for days, 5-5. Thank you very much. As soon as this SBC does come out, if they follow that same pattern, which I pray they do, I know it's not going to be within next week or maybe the week after. It could be that they start doing them, because this is not the first 99s. We have 3 from this week that could be put into SBCs later on for you to grind. I think they will do that again, which they always have done so far. But it's always an easy one that he's going to be one of the best. Same as we go into the strikers, R9 is definitely due a footies. He is going to get a 98, a 99 R9. Now, obviously, we've got the 90 rated still coming in at like 8.9 mil, which is crazy. But obviously, evolutions are going to be a big thing in him. He will get a 99 at some point. Regardless if he doesn't, this card is still immaculate in itself. Rapid, finesse, and low driven. You throw a first touch, you throw a quick step, like whatever you need. He's got everything you need going in there. 5-5, everything. Same as CR7, another one with many, many different versions. More than likely ends up with a 99. Messi and Ronaldo, until they physically stop playing and get the icon that they're going to be, they will get a 99 every year in footies. It's no question, it's just no question about it. They're Messi and Ronaldo. As long as they are in the game, they will end up with a 99 footies. You don't even have to qualm about it. It's like almost like Ronaldo always gets into the team of the year. He just manages to do it, and I don't think there's any real two big questions there. And Mbappe, 99, again, another one that more than likely becomes an SBC at some point. Again, with the many variations that he has got, I think you could get away with any. The only thing I don't like with this 99 is he doesn't have the finesse shot, and that's a big one for me. Like, you throw the 97 here, you could at least add the finesse shot to him. So I would still complete this SBC until I get the 97, but that is a big factor to the card that they really screwed up on. I get giving the quick step and technical, like it is what it is, but giving him the low driven and the chip shot over a finesse, for me, I think they really screwed up on that variation. And they know what they're doing, obviously, but it doesn't really matter too much. Like, it is Mbappe. He can still finesse. He can still score. He can still do everything. Now, that's going to be all the players so far. Let me know down below what you think, and make sure you like and subscribe on this. Peace.